Okay, so in this video I'm going to be going over the 1.1 to 1.5 quiz review. The first question is asking me to determine whether this point is on the line that they give me. Remember, whenever it gives me coordinate points, it always gives it to me in x, y form. So I want to plug those numbers in for x and y. I'm going to have 5 equals 4 plus 3 times negative 2. I just plugged in for x and y. Then what I want to do next is I want to go ahead and solve it out and make sure that both sides equal 5. If they don't, then it's not a point on the function. If they do, then it is. So I have 5 equals 4. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. I have 5 equals 4 minus 6 is negative 2. This is not on the line. So remember on the quiz that you actually tell me whether it is or isn't. Number 2 wants me to find the slope between 4, 0 and negative 3, 6. For this one, I want to use the slope formula. Remember that is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So when I go ahead and list these points out, it always goes xy. So I have x1, xy, y1, x2, y2. So then I want to go ahead and plug that in. I'm going to have 6 minus 0 on my top, and then on my bottom I'm going to have 4 minus negative 3. So 6 minus 0 gets me 6. 4 minus negative 3, because of the double negatives I want to add, it is going to give me 7. I can't simplify that anymore, so that is my final answer. Then number 3 wants me to find the equation of the line parallel to this line. Remember, the word parallel means same slope. So when I go ahead and use this, my slope is 2. And then I'm going to use this as my x1, y1 to plug in for my equation of the line. So I'm going to have y minus negative 3 equals 2 times x minus 1. On this left side, I have double negatives, so that's going to be y plus 3. On the right side, I want to distribute that 2. I'm going to have 2x minus 2. Then I want to get my y isolated, so I'm going to subtract 3 on both sides. This is going to give me y equals 2x minus 5 for my final answer. Number 4 says it wants the line perpendicular. This is opposite reciprocal slopes. So what that means is I'm going to take that slope, put it over a 1, flip the fraction, and change the sign. So my reciprocal slope here is just positive 1/3. And then I'm going to use this as my point, x1, y1, to plug in. So I'm going to have y minus 3 equals 1/3 times x minus 6. Nothing to do on the left side. On the right side, I want to go ahead and distribute. I get 1/3 x, and then 1/3 times negative 6 is negative 2. I want to isolate my y, so I'm going to add 3 to both sides. I get y equals 1/3 x plus 1. Number 5 wants me to determine whether the points in the table represent a function. None of my x values repeat, so it does. If, for example, this negative 2 and this 2 was, not that one. Let's say this negative 2 and this 1 was really a negative 2 because they'd have different outputs, it would be a no. Number 5 wants me to find the value of this function for f of 5. So what that's saying is plug in 5 for all of my x values. And then I want to go ahead, oops, I wanted to plug that in on the left side too. I want to go ahead and evaluate. So I have f of 5 equals, I can either solve this all out by hand, or since I've shown that I'm plugging it in, that's all the work I need on the quiz, I can go ahead and type this into my calculator. So if I'm typing into my calculator, I can do 4 parentheses 5 squared minus 3 times parentheses 5 plus 1, which gets me 86. Okay. Number 7 wants me to decide if the function is even, odd, or neither. For this one, I want to plug in a negative x. And then, depending on what I get, I will see if it's even, odd, or neither. So then I want to evaluate this by hand. I can't type this into the calculator because of the variable. Negative x cubed is the same thing as negative x cubed, so I'm going to pull that negative out front in front of that 3. Negative x squared. 2 negatives make a positive, so this is positive x squared, and then I have this negative from outside, so that makes this negative 2x squared. Then what I want to do is I want to go ahead and compare my signs, so I have a negative here, a positive here, I have a negative here, and a negative here. So since only one of those signs changed, it's neither. Remember, to be even, both signs change, or all signs. All signs stay the same, my bad. Odd is when they all change. And then neither is a mix. Okay. Number 8 wants me to sketch the graph and label the transformations of g of x. So I'm going to start off by drawing my parent function, which is just an absolute value that looks like this. This function is first going left 3, so I'm going to write this up. Shifts left 3, down 4, and then it has a vertical stretch of 2. So I'm going to go, the starting point is going to move left 3, down 4, and then because it has, a vertical stretch of 2, I want to make my slope, instead of being up 1 over 1, I'm going to make it up 1 over 2 for both sides. I mean up 2 over 1. And then I want to connect my points. Okay. So this is my answer for number 8. Okay, so then on the next side, it is asking me to use the graph of this function to find the domain. So remember, domain is possible x values. So this solid dot means it's starting there, and this x value is -1. And then it's going right forever, so I'm going to use infinity with parentheses. The solid bracket means it includes the point, parentheses means it doesn't. So since infinity isn't a specific value, I can include it. B is asking me to find the function at -2. At -2, the function doesn't exist, so this is undefined. Remember, when it's asking me this, it's saying x equals -2. What is y? C is asking for the range of this. So this, remember, is possible y values. So I want to look at how low it goes to how high it goes. The lowest point is -2, and because it's a solid dot, it includes that point. And then it slowly but surely keeps going up, so it's going to positive infinity. Okay, number 10 wants me to determine the open intervals where each function is increasing, decreasing, or constant. I'm going to start off with my increasing. And you always read graphs left to right. So what I want to do is I am going to highlight where it's increasing, so where it's going up. This first section is starting at, and you always use x interval or x values here. So this first section is starting at -2, and it ends at 0. It told me to use open intervals, which remember are parentheses. I want to use this u to show that two sets are going together. And then it starts up again at 3 and ends at 5. So again, I'm going to use the parentheses here. Then my next one is decreasing. So I am going to, these are ones with negative slopes. This one is starting forever on the left, so that's going to be -infinity. And then it ends at -2. My final thing on this graph is constant, so where it has a straight line. And that starts at 0 and ends at 3.